I lit down the Legion Square. Yep. All right. Talk to you soon.
What's this about?
Abilene, this is going to be privileged information, just FYI.
Okay.
You can listen on it in on this.
Okay.
Just be you know, the content of it.
Absolutely.
So it was brought to my attention that DeMarco was threatened off the record for having his shelter removed for not cooperating.
What?
Yeah. Slick Rick was present during this conversation. He didn't think anything of it. And then yeah, his keys removed from the shelter, and he was threatened to cooperate with the incident from January 3rd being held over his head. Now, I don't know the extent of DeMarco's involvement with what happened on the 3rd. It's been relayed to me that he got arrested for a warrant with that. You know, I see that as being separate from the other shit, right?
Okay.
But to hear that one incident is being used to leverage a gang leader and a much bigger thing is very concerning to me.
You said
Especially when
who
it
brought this
comes
to you?
across as extortion. His lawyer.
Okay.
Which
and what
also his
detective
lawyer.
brought this idea to you?
Slacks.
Okay. Probably to a
Slacks
degree
is
one and the
also
same.
the one that came to me and asked me to greenlight a detective department, which I'm going to be straight with you. Unless he closes a case, which I'm not, and he wasn't able to name a single one, I don't see why opening a new department by...
I can tell you right now, all 5 members of High Command are against it.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, well, shit. Yeah, because it was probably the most bozo thing I've heard in my life.
Yeah. I mean, the reasoning for wanting it is like, we don't feel like we can... I don't even really need to go into the reasons, but they're it's not necessary.
Look,
in
I
any
don't
way,
even need
shape,
to
or
know
form.
the internal shit from an outside perspective. It doesn't even make any sense. So
yeah, it doesn't.
If it wasn't for this, it'd be an issue. I'm just, you know, for me, it's like priorities, right? At the end of the day, I don't know how solid that case is. I don't know what it takes, but in my mind, from my point of view, it's kind of like, you know, my client is pretty much pulling his pants down and showing you everything.
Yeah. I mean,
and he's getting thrown on the bus while the same individual's also like, hey, by the way, I'm also planning a new department. You know, the optics of that, it sounds very self-serving, you know?
Yeah, I mean, something was going to happen until like Braun's kind of thing got dismissed. And I think that just kind of murdered everything, because the whole thing was going to work in conjoint with like what Murphy was trying to set up to for like the impeachment process, but it just didn't work out that way. So
I also wanted to speak to you two about this. I don't know what's going on with the chief of police post-mayor election, but I want to have you guys hear from the horse's mouth. My intent is as follows. There's a lot of thinking. There's a lot of rejigging I had to do, because a lot of this Constitution shit is new for me. But over the weekend, I decided, first off, I'm thinking about the future of the mayor's department, not how is it going to be when I'm in position, but like where I leave it. And I don't believe that the mayor of Los Santos should be the only voice for legislation. Obviously, DOJ is going to... I'm basing this on conversations with the justices. So obviously some of this is still up for contention, right? Things might change.
Yeah.
Based on my understanding of things, the mayor has full say. I don't think that's healthy for a democracy. Voting someone in and then they get full reign for 3 months, that's dangerous. You're going to end up with Max again. Which will love him, I hate him. That's too much power for one body to accumulate. Hence the selectmen, which you guys heard. It's also on the proposal I put up on the government website. So I would recommend that if I do win, y'all focus on getting at least one selectman up, so you have one voting party at least, right? So they can vote in the in the way the LSPD wants or doesn't want. Does that make sense? You guys
so you're saying
the entire selectman
so you're
thing?
saying ideally we should all try and get the LSPD to vote for one person. Is that what you're saying?
After the mayorship, right? So that's kind of like, if I become mayor, there's gonna be an election for select men and women. So the way it's gonna be is I'm gonna take the entire list and their representatives, right?
Yeah.
So there'll be 3 primary and then 3 like backup. The intent is that backup is there in case some of them fuck off. So you pop one off, another one comes in its place. But what that does is it allows like the LSPD to put up like 1 or 2 selectmen and ensure they get voted in. In a idealistic world, I'm going to be asking for weighted voting for that. So you can vote for some of your favorites. But the idea is that you have at least 1 or 2 selectmen in there that can vote and represent all legislative discussion and voting. In
and
turn,
what kind of background does this person need to have?
They have to be non-felon.
Okay.
Oh, as long as they're not a felon. I'm not going to put any felons in a selectman position because that's idiotic. You know what I mean? Last thing we want is we're doing a discussion and they got to go rob a bank or whatever the fuck they do. The second thing in regards to the chief of police, I don't know if that's going to be in the hands of the mayor yet. That was up for question. It is?
We already know.
Yeah, the mayor of the north will select the sheriff, and the mayor of the south will select the chief of police.
I have spoken to some folks already. I'm probably going to be selecting 5. Of the 5, I'm going to have them propose what their vision of the LSPD is. And I'm just rather directly, I'm going to make them do their homework and prove on paper what that PD is going to look like. Because if they can't do that, then how the fuck are they going to do their job over the next 3 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, are they also going to prove what they've done in the last 3 months?
That's important too.
Okay.